Hey guys, hope you had a good weekend. This is going to be a read for the general collective. So we'll get started. We'll see what the universe has in store for you guys. So universe, what messages do you have for the general collective for Monday? What advice, what insight, whoop, can you give them? There we go. We'll just go ahead and get started then. Okay, so I have the throat chakra, which represents communication. I have wisdom, obstacles and challenges, rest and rejuvenate, and partnerships and alliances. Ooh, so I'm beginning to get a vibe from this one that it has to do with a relationship. I'm not 100% sure just yet if it's a romantic relationship, but I think it's a relationship, and there are some issues in communication in this relationship. So I'm going to keep pulling cards here. It's got material and spiritual prosperity. I had triumph, fertility, disruption, and sacrifice. So I'm not 100% sure yet if this is speaking to speaking towards repairing the relationship, working through issues, or if this is going to be a self-care read. I'm going to keep pulling. We're going to keep building on this story here to make sure I get an accurate picture of what the universe is trying to tell us. It's got the Ace of Cups, which speaks of a new relationship. I have the Tower, which tends to represent something coming to an end. I have the Magician. He represents having all the tools that you need to handle a situation. And I got the Fool as well, and the Fool speaks of taking a leap of faith. So I'm starting to get an idea here that you're starting a new relationship. And I think you're letting go of issues and sort of bad habits of the past of the relationship, because I feel like in your past relationship, you maybe didn't say what you needed to say, you didn't speak your mind, and it may have caused the relationship to crumble. I think that's where the Tower fits in. I feel like this read is going in the direction of encouraging you to be more assertive, encouraging you to speak up for what you need in a relationship, to speak your mind when something's bothering you, to let the other person know, so that it doesn't get a chance to snowball and cause hurt feelings. And I feel like that's what the Wisdom card is speaking to in this as well. I feel like it's you gaining the wisdom of learning from your past mistakes. So I have the Five of Cups, and I believe this that this represents sort of where you were at, sort of being hurt, I feel like it represents you being sort of emotionally closed off because you weren't speaking your feelings. You were just sort of sitting in this state, sitting in the hurt. The Six of Cups to me in this represents, it's usually known as a blast from the past card. To me in this, it represents you changing old habits from the past. I have the Two of Wands, which also speaks of choice. So I believe that represents you choosing, or having the ability to choose a new path and a new way of being in a relationship. I have the Four of Pentacles, and he's sometimes called the Miser card because he's hanging on to what he's got. He doesn't want to let it go. In this, it feels like... In this, it feels like a warning to not hold your feelings back. Because I think that's what you did before. You would be hurt by something that would happen. But instead of sitting this person down and talking to them about it, you would just sort of quietly stew, and resentment would build. And eventually I feel like that contributed to the deterioration of that old relationship. So I believe, again, like what this read is speaking to is you learning those lessons of a past and actively making a change so that you're not repeating the same cycle. Yeah, so I also got the Death card, and in this, to me, it speaks of you letting go of the past and moving forward. It speaks of the transition here and your commitment to change. I have the Emperor, and he speaks to me in this of mastering your emotions and being able to see a situation logically. Because I feel like you weren't able to do that in your past relationships. You were too... I don't want to say you're too busy being caught in the negative stuff. I just don't think that you felt like you were able to vocalize it and to assert yourself. And I feel like that's what trapped you in that situation before. So to me in this, the Emperor represents you sort of taking your power back and taking your voice back and being able to handle the situation in a more logical and a less emotional way. I feel like the Hermit ties into that as well, of you being able to take a step back and think about things logically and see sort of your behaviors and to see your tendencies in it and to be able to stop it before it starts. So I do have the Seven of Swords in this. And the Seven of Swords, it tends to represent a situation that you felt was unfair. And I feel like this is also speaking to the past relationship and the past habits, how you felt like you weren't getting your needs met. And it was very unfair. I also feel like I got the Two of Swords here, and she tends to speak of decisions and having a hard time seeing things logically, being able to put emotion aside. And I think that's what you're going to be struggling with even in this new relationship. Even once you decide to change, it's not an overnight change. It's something that you have to actively work at and be aware of. I have the Queen of Swords, and to me in this, she sort of speaks of you finding some self-truths and just recognizing those behaviors in yourself and then being able to catch yourself and to do something different. I have the Ace of Wands, which speaks of a new beginning. And I believe that this speaks of this new relationship that you're going into. And I believe it does have potential to work. But you are definitely going to have to change the way that you are and the way that you handle things. So I have the Empress card, and she's sort of, to me in this, she speaks of nurturing this new relationship and being emotionally healthy. That's what I see when I look at her. So not letting destructive emotions take over the relationship and set you back and sort of I don't want to say end the relationship, but it definitely would shake it. It would have a very negative effect. I also have the Devil, which speaks of a destructive energy. And I feel like the Devil in this speaks to those tendencies of the past and the negative influence that they would have on this new relationship. Because I feel like this new relationship has potential to grow. but definitely you're going to have to do the work so that you don't fall back into those old patterns. I have the High Priestess too, and she tends to represent things that are still hidden. And I think that speaks of this journey, that you're on this journey of change, because it is a journey. It's not an overnight you woke up and, oh, I'm fixed now and everything's good. It's a choice that you have to make every day. You have to be conscious of these behaviors. You have to really be able to step back and look at yourself. And so I think you're going to find out some self-truths along the way on this journey. I do have the Sun as well, and to me the Sun is a good omen card. It speaks of the potential, the positive manifestations that are going to be coming your way, and I think it speaks to this new relationship and the potential of this new relationship. So the Universe card, balance, movements, choices, and decisions, and patience. These make quite a bit of sense to me. So when I see the Universe card, when I see her, to me she represents a universal life lesson that you are having to learn. And that's what I think all of this is. I think this is a life lesson. I have the movement, choices, and decisions, and to me this represents your choice to change and your choice to be different. Balance to me speaks of you learning to balance your emotions with your logic and not letting the emotions get the best of you, get carried away, so that it has sort of negative consequences on the relationships in your life. And I have the Patience card, and I think that speaks also to this not being an overnight change, that this will take a bit of time. You may have a slip up here and there. You just really have to push yourself to be aware of what you're doing, and when you're sliding into old habits, when you're starting to have the old thoughts, those old negative feelings that tend to drive the behaviors. I think patience speaks of you learning to deal with that and that taking a little bit of time for you to get the hang of. Alrighty guys, I hope that was helpful. Have a good rest of your Monday and take care.